So you're going to kill the next 13 days with 100 practices.
Well, again, you know, we have some good days for practice. We got to keep everybody healthy. We got to be careful. Got some guys nicked up, not hurt, but nicked up, and be smart as far as how long they practice and that type of thing. But it's some good days we have to work on some things, clean up little things that we've been making mistakes on, and that's always good, which is very unusual for this time of year.
Can you teach new things in this time as well?
Well, we can put some new things in. We're going to do that. We did that today. A couple things offensively we wanted to work on, and a couple of nuances defensively. But again, you know, you can't change everything, but we can slip some new things in here in the next few days.
A chance to see some maybe different lineups for scrimmages, test that out a bit more?
Yeah, you know, we can do that, and we did do that out of necessity, out of more than anything else. With DeMar out, he didn't go today because watching his knee, so we had to do that. With CJ back, it was good to get him back. So you know, it gives us an opportunity to do that.
Last week when we were talking about how much you guys are switching, you said you try to avoid Kyle and Fred onto a big guy, but it obviously happens. They seem to me to be pretty effective given their size. What makes them effective?
Eric, their toughness, and that's a good point. That's something we worked on today, is trying to avoid that at all costs. We call it a 9-1-1 switch, and there are certain things they have to do in that situation, and there's certain things their teammates have to do to help them.
Yeah.
And Kyle and Fred are two tough guys. They get in the big guy's knees, they sit down on it, and so that's what avoid. But again, if a guy's 7 foot and they're 6'2", 6'3", it doesn't matter. So we want to avoid that as much as possible. Not put ourselves in that position or get tricked into that switch.
Are little guys or guards allowed to be maybe a bit more physical when that mismatch happens?
Well, you would think so. I know John Stockton used to get away with murder in there, but he should be. But again, you know, you can't make it obvious where you're holding the guy or pushing him off the spot with your hands. But you can get away with a little bit more aggressiveness down there than normal.
Building off of that, at his position, his size, what makes Kyle such a good rebounder?
Well, he's smart, he anticipates, and his competitiveness. You know, again, the other guy reminds me of is Gary Payton, where if a ball's in a scrum, Kyle's going to come out with it, or Gary Payton's going to come out with it. It's just something about those guys that have a nose and a knack for the 50-50 balls. And that's a huge skill to have. And Kyle's toughness, his competitiveness, his anticipation, all those help him in those situations. It's huge.
You guys must cringe a little bit every time he goes into the trees or take a charge.
I love it, because that means we were probably going to come out with the ball. Yeah. So, no, he's a tough kid. I mean, it's one of those things where the other guy's probably going to get hurt. You know, I put my money on Kyle.
Is there any design to that? Like, are you kind of having your bigs focus first on taking their guy and then grabbing your...
Well, it happens, unfortunately, Michael, a lot of times off of switches. If Kyle's down there on a switch, which we don't want him to be, but if he does get down there, it puts him in that position to rebound. And we want to avoid that as much as possible, but it does happen, and that's where he does a good job of anticipating the shot, getting into his man, and coming up with a rebound.
You do get guards in transition if they rebound the ball. You get going more quickly on offense.
You do. There's no question, and that's another plus about it too. You do get sometimes you get an automatic mismatch, or you know, where the guys are mismatched in transition, and you get that with us switching so much. And there's a lot of pluses out of it if you execute it the right way.
Is there any reason, apart from maybe the demands of your schedule, why you guys have been so inconsistent through this stage?
Inconsistent, I don't know what the reason is. You know, some of it's the schedule. We can put it on that. Most of it is us, Michael. There's no excuses for it, you know, as far as us being up and down. Some of it is the newness, some of the youth. You can point at all of it, but again, at the end of the day, the schedule is what it is. We got to come out and perform, do our job. And that's what we challenged our guys in the second half against Atlanta. That was our biggest fear coming in the third quarter. Are we going to break that trend or habit? And again, it's something that's been going on for the last couple of years, 3 years. I don't know what it is that we're trying to break. But again, it is what it is. We got to continue to work on it, focus on it, talk about it. We've tried to change the lineup. You know, that wasn't totally the answer. But again, we got to come out with more pace in the first quarter and also in the third quarter to break that trend. And again, we're looking at all aspects of it from an analytical standpoint and from a personnel standpoint.
Is that when you say personnel analytics? I mean, JV was a guy whose role fluctuated hugely the last 3-4 games. Is that going to continue, do you think?
The game in the Indiana game again.
Yeah, and New York, I guess, too.
In New York, I thought didn't he start the third quarter in New York? So it's only one game we did that. Again, we'll look at all whoever, whether it's Serge, JV. It's not one guy that's the issue. It's all of us. It's coaches, it's players, it's all of us making sure we come out with the proper energy, proper focus to start the game, Michael, and start the third quarter. I mean, if you find the answer to it, let us all know. But again, it's not from the lack of us going to try, whether it's changing the personnel, changing our offensive approach, defensive approach, whatever it is. I think everything's on the table.
Always prepared for 3 games in 13 days.
I mean, it's good, to look at the schedule when you have been on the road so much early on and have just coming off a back-to-back. So it looks good. I think we'll get antsy, in the next couple of days. Obviously, it's good to get some practice time in, heal up, try to get back as close to 100% as possible. Get your treatment, get your rest, get a little bit of work in, and keep tuning up.
But it does disrupt any kind of rhythm to the season. If you got 3 days between one game, 4 days another time.
Yeah, it's just different. It's different. You got to adjust. I mean, it doesn't disrupt anything any more than a back-to-back or 4 games in 5 nights. So it's just different. You got to adjust to the rhythm of how things are going. And like I said, spend that instead of game time, practice time, film time, treatment, and just trust that your work will carry over in the games.
There was a play on Saturday night where you switched on to Collins and you helped stop him, and you seemed pretty excited. For a 6-foot guard to when they're switched onto big guys, what is the challenge? Like, how much do you zone in for those types of plays?
Yeah, it's always good. I mean, because the flip side of that is when you're smaller, everybody thinks they can switch and score on you easy. So it's just try to prove a point. You know what I mean? It's just a macho thing, just a pride thing. And, small man syndrome, down there with a big guy trying to score me. And if you look at it, it ends up being a good play for us because it takes the offense out of the rhythm. You got guys who normally in that position, I don't think that kid is a back to the basket player right now. So for him to try to make a move there was bad for the offense. So whatever, we could talk about that all day, but just boil it down to small man syndrome there. Me having a little competition with myself.
Kyle said he enjoys watching you do that more than he enjoys doing it himself.
Yeah, I don't know how much the old man likes to get down there and fight anymore. So I'll do it for him. He can live through me.
To that point, in a league with so many big physical dudes, what is that makes a guard a good rebounder in this league?
It's whatever's in your chest, to be honest. Whatever you got inside your heart that makes you want to go down there and get them. I think our bigs have been having a job to battle and box out and rebound for position, so Kyle's been down there to clean them up. Me, Norm, LB even get down there and clean them up. That's our job. I'm not sure the bigs are so happy with Kyle taking all the rebounds, but it's a team effort, so the bigs have to box out. I'm not sure you could get all of those if they weren't fighting with each other down there, right? But you see the same thing with Russ and OKC, and they kind of cleared away and let them go down there and get them. But you got to stick your nose in there, too. I think Kyle stole 2 away back-to-back games, Indiana and Atlanta, from bigger guys where he just wanted it more, and that's all it boils down to.
What's the benefit of actually getting a bunch of practice time coming up?
Man, I don't know. Dwayne Casey is excited, I'll tell you that much. No, man, I think given the opportunity to be home and getting in your own bed and getting to some type of rhythm at home will help. Sorry about that. Being able to be home and be around, in your facilities and using your own showers and sleeping in your own bed, and especially being home with 12 days now left and only having 3 games, get some quality rest, get some good work in. So it should be fun.
You notice that all your minutes are
Going up?
No, but they're down overall, like 100 minutes or something from same amount of games last year. Do you notice that with your body at all? Or no?
For sure. I mean, it's something we've been working on. With we talked about it for the last 3 years, but now finally we're doing it this year. We're deeper. Our depth and our backcourt is really good. So for me, I'm kind of finding the rhythm now, and just starting to play a lot better. And less minutes is it's okay for me.
Do you have a number that's a balance between too few minutes and too many minutes?
Me personally, I don't know it. Either I'm a player or I'm not. I think the coaches have done a great job with it. I don't know. I haven't looked at how many minutes I'm averaging, but I definitely can tell the difference of getting more rest and feeling fresh and feeling good. But at the same time, when I'm playing a lot of minutes, I get a rhythm, and I get a little bit more of a rhythm.
When you're on, are you able to go harder because you're going shorter? Your rebounding numbers are...
Well, our bigs have done a great job of boxing out. I think they're giving me the opportunity to help rebound. I don't think I'm, doing anything I'm not supposed to do, and our coaches have always been big on us rebounding, and our bigs have done a great job of, boxing their man out, and we've been, as guards, going in and getting them, and we got unselfish bigs, and they know sometimes when the guards get the ball that it's an automatic fast break. I feel a little bit being able to be fresher and come, and just go and play. But that's a testament of what people have done and the organization have done in bringing in a great amount of players.
How does it make you guys play faster when you rebound the ball and go?
I got a chance to have the ball in my hand, not have to wait for it. That's an extra 2 seconds with the ball in my hands. So given that chance to go and make the play and outlet and not have to wait for it and turn my back, catch, go, and see what's happening.
Get you better early shots in the clock?
I don't know. I got to look at the numbers, but I think probably get a better chance to get the ball ahead to DeMar, let him attack in transition, get the ball ahead to Norm, Fred, and OG, get the ball up ahead.
Is inconsistent a fair assessment for where your performance levels have been? You've had some great games.
Me?
Not you particularly.
I've been terrible. I've started to play better of late, but I was just getting the rhythm. But as a team, we've
had some great runs, some great performances.
We've had great streaks. We lost a couple in a row, but that's the NBA season, man. We just got to find ways to concentrate and be more locked in and not give up runs that we've been doing. And the last game, the third quarter, was a great start to try to do something different for us in the third quarters. And I think we had this problem 2 years ago, maybe a year. Whatever, our third quarters were bad, but we figured it out last year, and now we have to figure it out this year.
There's a number out there. I think you and Boston are the only teams that have not lost to a team below 500. How important is it to beat up on teams that don't have a good record?
I don't say beat up. I just say games that we're supposed to win and that we should win. And no matter what the team's record is, they still are professional teams, and they can beat you on any given night. I think we just come in and we just play when we're supposed to play. We're a pretty good team.
You do have now a stretch of teams with sub-500 records, I think 10 of your next 11 or something like that. Is it a really chance to make a move this time of the year?
Honestly, the records don't mean nothing. It's so early. We still got to go out there. It's a good stretch to be home. We got 3 games at home. Let's take advantage of that. First, we got a Charlotte team that's tough. They're always fighting for playoffs. They're well coached. They have an all-star in Kimba. Then we have to go back against the team that we just lost to with the Pacers. So no matter what happens, we got to go out there, do our job, follow the game plan, and make sure that we execute what we need to execute and continue to get better. Right now, it's so early we're still early in the year. I looked at are we 20 games in?
Wednesday 20.
So there's a lot of basketball left.
When you're switched on to bigger guys on defense, what's the key to holding your ground?
Just holding them off, make sure they don't take a shot that they want to take, make sure they don't rebound, because as a team, we want everybody to help everybody. So if I get switched on to Serge's guy, I don't want Serge's guy to score on me and it look like Serge. No, we all got to hold each other accountable, and that's the one thing of our team is we actually are holding each other accountable and making sure that we help each other.
I know you're not hunting out those situations, but do you relish them when they happen? It seems.
I relish it more when Freddie do it. Now he's smaller than me, so I relish it more. I love when Freddie get down there and switch into a big guy, but it's pride in being a smaller guy, but you're still tough and you can hold a big guy to not scoring. I mean, that makes you feel good.